Hello all, and this is another video in the Music Composition 100 course. When the time signature changes, that's what this is all about. We've been talking about rhythm and time signatures and tempo and syncopation. Syncopation's in one of the other slides there. But as a review, a time signature tells of the rhythm and the timing of particular pieces of music. For example, 4/4, the top number, or the number to the left in this case, displays the number of beats and a measure of music. Music are divided up by measures, as we know, and the number to the right, or the bottom number, denotes the type of note that gets the beat. So, we've already known that from the beginning part of this. The right number, as you can tell, the number at the right, the bottom number, the numerator, the denominators rather, is always in multiples of 2. The numbers could range from the number 2 all the way to 128 and beyond. You can have a time signature of 2/2, 2/4, 2/8, 2/16, 2/32, 2/64, 4/2, 4/4, 4/8, 4/16, etc. The bottom number of the time signature can drastically change the feel of the music. It can also change the tempo. Okay, so we're going to go to MuseScore right now, and we're in 4/4, and I'm going to write up something really cute really quick. Make sure my note input's on. Okay, so that's one example in 4/4. Let me get the left hand down here. So here's what that sounds like in 4/4, for example. I hope you were able to hear that. If not, okay, that's what it sounds like. And then we can change time signatures and MuseScore, for example, just by grabbing this, grabbing the time signature dialog box and dragging it over here and dropping it down. Same thing with the cut time. We can give it a couple measures and then drop down just like that. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut and paste. Be good if you had MuseScore or Finale. MuseScore is free, by the way. You can download it at musescore.com or musescore.org. I'll have that in the resources section of this lecture. But make sure you have that, or if you have Print Music or Finale, make sure you're using that during these examples. They'll do you a lot of good. Or you can do this after the examples shown above. So anyway, we're going to copy and paste to this section. Now there is a little bit of difference between 4/4 and 2/2. You won't hear it, but notice that the 2 on the bottom shifts the pulse to a half note pulse, which means the quarter notes are going to be going twice as fast. Sometimes they're not always distinguishable if it's the exact same thing, because you've got the equivalent of 2 half notes in both the top and the bottom number and the top and the bottom measure. So there's not that much in the way of things, but there will be a difference in how the pulse is felt, like 1, 2, 1, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to be counting 1, 2, 1, 2. Same thing if you have 6/8. Let's change it. Let's do this. Let's do, make sure our things are here. And then we're going to go like this, quarter note with a dot. Alright, so now we're going to play, I'm going to play the 4/4 example and the cut time example, and then we're going to skip right to 6/8. So hang on just a moment. Cut time example, then measure of rest, goes back into 4/4, then we go into cut time here in a measure, and then we go to 6/8. Now here, on that last one, you can hear it straightforward on the 4/4 and the cut time, but on the 6/8, the pulse changes. Bum ba bum ba 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 ba. It changes the beat. The reason why is because the pulse has shifted from the quarter note being the pulse, number one, to the eighth note being the pulse, and the fact that in 6/8 the dotted quarter note usually gets the macro beat and the eighth note gets the micro beat in this sense. So that's why there's a little bit of a faster pace on this one, because you're actually doing groups of 3 rather than groups of 2 like in 4/4 or cut time. But let's say you want to go 12/8. Let's go 12/8 and see what it brings. Alright, so let's do that one. I want to skip ahead. But then we have cut time, 6/8. That's how the pulse changes. Then we have 12/8. Yes, and so you notice that the 12/8, the eighth note is still the beat the note that gets the beat. So the pulse is still faster, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all in one measure. So it's 4 sets of 3. So you can have 4/2, which is the equivalent of 4 half notes. That would change music like this. If you put an extra half note in there and put 4 extra quarter notes in there and made it 4/2 on this one, it would change the flow because the bottom unit is 2, which is the beat of measure, the beat of unit that is being counted. And so just know that the bottom number can drastically change the tempo and the overall meter of a piece. If you have any questions, please feel free to consult the Q&A, and I will put the MuseScore in the resources section along with some other stuff that you may find useful. And until next time, I'll see you later.